Lemonada.
Hello.
Hi guys, how you doing?
How are you?
Come on in, good morning.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, likewise. At this ungodly hour.
Hi, nice to meet you.
How you doing? Come in guys, yeah.
Wow, that view is amazing.
Yeah, I know, I just
It's 6:45 on a clear, brisk Tuesday morning. Our team has just arrived at an apartment near Wall Street in Lower Manhattan. In the living room, 2 big windows overlook the glistening Hudson River below.
We look out onto the Statue of Liberty, we're very lucky. You get incredible sunsets, sunrises like we have right now.
That's Matt, a native Londoner with a minimalist fashion sense, thick frame glasses, think Stanley Tucci, and a kind smile. Along with his ex-husband, Matt co-parents 11-year-old Triplets. And just so you know, we're not using the kids' names for privacy reasons.
I think one of them might be stirring actually, so let's just see. Are you good? Yeah? Right, we're just gonna get into it, okay? I'm gonna start making your breakfast. Pancakes? Sure, okay, that's easy.
At 7:25, the youngest triplet, who plays a mean saxophone, needs to leave for band practice. The clock is ticking, and like every morning, everyone's rushing to get out the door on time.
You got your bits together? Have you finished that homework that I just learned about last night? The essay, yeah.
I already finished it.
Okay, have you submitted it?
Yeah.
Well, just check out this pancake. It's burning, great. That's looking pretty crispy. The alarm's probably gonna go off now.
Late last night, Matt got back from a work trip abroad that left him scrambling to take over childcare duties from his ex. And now, a couple of strangers with microphones are recording his every move. So, given the circumstances, let's let Matt off the hook for those burnt pancakes.
All right, I'm gonna stir the other 2 children now. Hi kids, morning darlings, how you doing? Okay, it's time to wake up. Okay? No response from the kids. Okay.
But those sleepyheads are a problem for future Matt. Okay. Right now, his goal is to get the youngest to band practice on time.
Okay, so it's 7:25, so we're on time for once. Yeah?
Well, I normally leave at like 7:30 and like speed walk, and then I think I would be there on time.
It's true, I have taught you how to walk faster. It really is. It's imperative as a New Yorker. You've got to walk fast.
And they're off. Speed walking along the Hudson River, neck and neck with the morning runners. 5 minutes later, they're standing in front of the middle school.
Bye.
Listen to the teachers, work hard.
Okay.
All right, that's 1 down, 2 to go.
At 7:40 on the dot, Matt's back home ready for round 2. Kids, awake. Pancakes, eaten. Homework, done. Probably.
Like, because we have 5 minutes until we have to go to school.
Wait, what time is it?
It's 8:05. So I want you to brush your teeth, please, and comb your hair one more time. It looks like you've had a go, but I'd like a second attempt. Okay. All right, and then bags packed, and away we go.
And just like every weekday morning, a bunch of the kids' 6th grade classmates will file out of the neighboring high-rises. A sea of colorful backpacks and customized keychains streaming onto the concrete all at once.
They'll run away from me and say, Dad, I don't want to walk with you. You're not cool enough. I've got to go and meet my friends. And they'll just ditch me.
Never said that.
All right, fine.
And that's a wrap on the morning school run. Now it's time for Matt to get on with the rest of his day. Work calls, Zoom meetings, more work calls. You know the drill. Today, we're going to step into Matt's world to find out what it's like to parent 3 kids and juggle a career in one of the most expensive cities in the world, where a family has to make over $300,000 a year to be able to cover childcare comfortably. And that's for 1 kid. Matt's got 3. This is Squeezed. I'm your host, Yvette Nicole Brown. Episode 3, Meet Matt.
Okay, here we have a triple bunk bed. I'm on the bottom. There's one in the middle, and then one on the top.
That's the youngest triplet. They're the one who had to get up extra early for band practice this morning. After school, while their siblings were stuck doing math tutoring, the youngest gave us a tour of the room they all share, starting with the posters tacked up on the walls.
We have TV Girl, and then we have one poster of Trace Atlantic. But I just like that album a little bit, and I also like the name of it, Nostalgia. I don't know if the Arctic Monkeys have more albums than those.
Arctic Monkeys? I knew those when I was a young man.
They're just a good band, no?
They are. I didn't know you were...
In one corner of the room, Moonlight, the fish, is hanging out in his tank. It has a mini replica of SpongeBob's house in it. To the left, the triplets' desks are lined up next to each other. The oldest triplet's desk is first, and it's a beautician's dream. 2 vanity mirrors, makeup brushes stuffed into a mug, a million kinds of mascara, lip gloss, foundation.
Yeah, there's even a whole box down here. And then here we have Taylor's albums.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, also there's a Taylor friendship bracelets over here.
Yeah.
Reputation, Fearless.
But there's no trace of makeup on the middle sibling's desk. Instead, a color-coded map of the U.S. sits front and center, with a blue and pink pop fidget toy off to the side and a sports jersey stuffed into a plastic bag.
And then there's a basketball on my sibling's desk. It's like a little mini basketball, and I can throw it into the mini hoop. Okay, so.
As they're saying this, the youngest is tuning a ukulele, sitting at their desk that's scattered with playing cards and unfinished Rubik's Cube and one of those tech deck finger skateboards that were every teacher's nightmare in the early aughts. I can tell how much joy Matt gets from just being around his 3 preteen babies. But I have it on good authority that even one kid is a handful. So I can only imagine just how lawless a household with 3 of them can be.
We're in that fun pre-adolescent stage, Yvette.
Yay.
Yeah, right?
It's yay with a question mark. It's like, yay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, big question mark.
Yes.
I'm kind of enjoying the calm before the storm. But yeah, the oldest is the most conventionally girly. She's the oldest one, so she's a caretaker. And then the middle one, I think she's going to be a lawyer, Yvette. Like, she's grilling me already. What did you do last night? Who did you go out with? This is when I don't have them, on my non-custody nights. But she's great fun. Yeah, she sort of holds me to task and, keeps me in check. And then the youngest, is very much a sort of free spirit, reads things about like the meaning of life of it, and like quite heavy stuff for an 11-year-old, the beginnings of the universe. So catches me out with these sort of very deep questions, while we're making breakfast or something.
In addition to being the family's philosopher, the youngest triplet started to question fixed ideas of gender about 2 years ago when they were in 4th grade.
And they've been they/them since 5th grade. I'm trying really hard, but she gives me and they give me and their other father a pass. But from the get-go, they were all, asserting their own identities and personalities. And so that's been riveting to watch, and it continues to evolve. And it's magnified by the fact that there's 3 of them.
I love to see how your little face changed. You just came alive talking about your children, which I think is just really, really wonderful. So how would your children describe you?
How would my children... Oh, Yvette, you're starting with the big ones. I think they'd say I'm probably the stricter father, possibly because of, my British upbringing, my background. They love to sort of blame that. Their other father is American, and they're like, oh, he's so laissez-faire, he's so relaxed, we get away with blue murder with him. And so I think that would be their sort of initial response.
I love it. So let's now go back in time when you had first moved to New York as a single gay man living your best life. What was that first year like for you in New York?
For me personally, it was a very exciting time. I'd always wanted to live and work in the US, and I managed to get here through my work. I work in marketing, and it's a gay mecca as well of it, and I had no idea how long I'd be here. And here I am, 15 years later. So, yeah.
Okay. So how did you meet your ex-husband?
So, we met at a gay bar. Would you believe it? But yeah, we met outside a now defunct gay bar in the Lower East Side, the East Village area. We were exiting this club, me and a couple of my friends, and I just saw him on the sidewalk, and we got talking. And then, we hung out after that. And I think one of the reasons why we sort of hit it off quite quickly was because he was one of the few gay guys at the time who wanted to have kids as well. So we both wanted to have children.
About 2 years into their relationship, Matt and his then partner got in touch with a surrogacy clinic to make their dreams come true. And in 2012, they tied the knot in Canada. Because, let's not forget, same-sex marriage wasn't legal in the U.S. until 2015. On a spring morning in 2012, the newlyweds woke up to an email from the surrogacy clinic. But it wasn't exactly what they were expecting. There's a big difference between let's have a baby and finding out that you're having 3 at one time. Yeah. So can you take me back to that exact moment? Like, make me feel like I'm right there. You don't have to tell all your business, but let me know how it feels when you get that call or the email or the doctor tells you, guess what? You're going to have 3.
I mean, I'm going to be really candid with you about I just sort of walked around Manhattan with my head in my hands going, holy cow, how have I gone from 0 to 3? Yeah. And how are we going to do it? Like it was euphoria, but there was also like, I hadn't planned all 3, three's a lot to go from 0 to 3, without, just one to begin with. So I did sort of despair of it for a few weeks, and then I got it together and said, we'll be good.
This was just the first of many major pivots in Matt's life. Like many caregivers, Matt was in for some serious ups and downs over the next few years. First-time dad duties, divorcing, co-parenting, budgeting for 3, and doing all of this away from his support system in London, without his people to lean on. Talk about rough. More on how Matt survived the unexpected after the break. Welcome back. Before the break, we met Matt and his 3 sixth graders. We've got the skincare connoisseur, the prolific reader, and the basketball player who moonlights as a lawyer. Since the triplets were 5, Matt has split co-parenting duties with his ex-husband. They live a few blocks apart in Battery Park City and even have joint family dinners every now and then. Battery Park City is one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Manhattan. And if you can afford to live there, you're off to a good start, because the public schools nearby are great. But no matter where you find yourself in the city, the cost of raising 3 kids is a logistical nightmare that bleeds a lot of parents dry, especially because New York is facing its worst affordability crisis in decades. So I asked Matt for a reality check. So single dad, triplets, New York, crazy high childcare costs. And then also, you famously said you don't get a discount for triplets. So can you just explain this whole story of like, oh my goodness, this is where I am, and how do you make it work, and how expensive is it?
Sure. The childcare costs are insane. Before they went into the public school system, there were daycare costs. And I remember going to see my accountant, perhaps when they were 2 or 3 of it. And the childcare costs for the 3 of them that year were $72,000.
Wow.
And my accountant was like, you must have this wrong, Matt. I was like, no, it's $6,000 a month for the 3 of them in the daycare on the corner of my road. And, there was no discount, but no, they're ruthless down here. But then other costs come in.
Right.
One of my other daughters had to go, private for a couple of years as well, because she had a few sort of learning issues. That was an enormous cost. I'm not going to, drop the number, but let's say it's more than Harvard, the tuition for Harvard in 1 year. But yes, they're the big ones. And then the day-to-day costs. I mean, just the grocery costs. I've got 3 11-year-olds now. They eat a lot. They eat me out of house and home with it. And those costs have ballooned as well, obviously, during the cost of living crisis over the last couple of years and so on.
Phew, I'm sitting here sweating bullets after hearing all those big numbers. Let's not forget that in between footing the daycare and private school bills, Matt was going through a divorce. And FYI, divorces can get expensive. Not to mention they can be traumatic and disrupt all the big and little parts of your routine. Like the kids' footsteps as they race to wake you up and demand pancakes for breakfast, or their hushed voices whispering secrets back and forth after tucking them in at night. Matt had to accept that there would be mornings and nights without these sounds. And as he was wrapping his brain around that, he also had to weigh his options at work.
It just was really, really hard to, do the usual 8 till 6 work and then, be around and be present for the children as well. So I sort of decided to, leave my, permanent full-time role and I went independent. And so I had them for half the week and my ex had them for the other half of the week. And if I'd stayed in that role, I would never have seen the kids. So I decided to go independent. I became a freelance marketing consultant, which I still am 6.5, 7 years later. And it meant that I could be with the children of it. So, and I'm glad to be able to say that I've been able to do that since, they were 5, 6 and they're now 11. So I've been really lucky to be there and really present during this part of their life.
I asked you the question about deciding to leave your job. I had to make the same decision. I've been a caregiver for my father who has dementia for 10 years. Oof. And I ended up having to leave a television show, asked to be released from a contract to be able to do it. So can you describe your inner monologue when you were deciding between keeping your job and that paycheck versus time with my children? Mm-hmm. Need the money, need to be a good dad to my kids. So what was that inner monologue like and how swiftly could you make that decision?
Mm-hmm. I think I still have nightmares over that period of it. Like it was so many competing influences and forces and so many strong emotions. I felt confident in my ability to do my job. I wasn't that worried about the work. I was like, the work will come. I'll be able to get the work. But perhaps that was sort of naivety or, I'm not sure, but it did come, thankfully. But yeah, it was hard to leave that salaried role with all the benefits and healthcare for the children, the 401k and so on. So it was a bit of a jump into the dark. And I never thought I would be raising 3 children in Manhattan by myself. I was never in the life plan of it. I never thought, I'm going to move to New York City and I'm going to have 3 little ones. I'm going to raise them by myself. So yeah. I still think it would be a lot easier to do this somewhere else. But because we have shared custody, we're always going to be in New York until the children leave home.
Right.
Even though it is a really tough place to raise kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you need to be pretty resilient. You got to have a good sort of support network around you. And yeah, just keep going. It's a tough undertaking.
It's not easy to choose to leave your job while co-parenting to be more present for your kids. In Matt's words, it was a risk. And those kinds of risks often come with a level of privilege and flexibility that not everyone has. In our country, many lower-income families are spending 1/3 of their paycheck on childcare. And when you find yourself in a position like that, you're less likely to take any job-related risks because your livelihood is already too precarious. That's where the village comes in. For many, it can be a literal saving grace. It can put food on the table for your kids and it be the difference between barely staying afloat and thriving. More on how crucial community has been for Matt when we come back.
Okay, guys. See, how's your day at school? Good?
Ballroom dancing was fun.
Ballroom dancing, that's different.
Here's Matt standing outside the school doors with hundreds of kids swarming around him.
Right, so it's 3 o'clock, so it's the end of the school day.
Yeah, but what
So we're going to head home now, right? Yeah? And get a snack and then straight into math tutoring. Yeah?
I call going second. I call going second for 5.
So 2 of them have math tutoring and then this one does not, the youngest. And I think given it's such a nice day, those 900 kids in that building, half of them will be in that playground so that the fun continues. So we'll go outside, I think.
Those playgrounds are representative of the kind of community that's available to the kids and parents of Battery Park City. For any parent, that community is nice to lean on. But for an expat like Matt, It's the difference between being really lonely and feeling like you're home.
Families spend a lot of time in these playgrounds because we all live in small apartments.
Yeah.
And you get to know everyone. So you create these great bonds down there, and you share all these sort of rites of passage, all these experiences with your children. Yeah, you find your groove, you find your parental group that, have a similar style to you. And that was the big unlock in terms of finding, my community here in New York. And there's a huge sort of community of gay dads I'm sort of tapped into here in Manhattan and Brooklyn, and we just go out and we go have cocktails, and it's primarily parenting stuff and then a little bit of salacious sort of gay relationship stuff as well.
What do you think your experience would have been like without these families to rely on, without your community?
Yeah, I think it would be really hard because I don't have any immediate family here. I don't have any family in the US. There was no sort of like grandma, grandpa to go to on the weekend and dump the kids and say, can you watch these for a few hours while I sleep, And, perhaps my parents would visit once or twice a year. And then those visits kind of fell away, as the children got a little bit older, and then the pandemic happened. And so there weren't any visits, but, there was a lot of calls, a lot of FaceTimes, so we could sort of, build and maintain those relationships between my parents and the children.
Matt's parents and his two siblings live in London. They all live close to one another. And this was especially important in 2020 when Matt's dad was diagnosed with cancer.
I felt a long, long way from home at that point. Like, I've always felt like 3,500 miles away, but that felt like 3 million miles away.
Yeah.
I do get a bit sad about that a bit. I do miss the fact that they won't really have as much exposure to my family as, say, they would have if I still lived in the UK with them, So, but anyway, that's why you have to lean on others, friends and neighbors and so on. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say if your friends say we want to help you, let them help you. Like, I've gotten to the point now where I'm starting to say, could you sit with daddy for a couple of hours? Just want to go, take a break or get some coffee. And I'm surprised at how many people are like, absolutely. I would love to come over and sit with your dad. So that would be my advice, to let others help you.
Yeah, I don't think I'm quite there yet, Vel. I still feel like I'm I sort of pride myself, my self-sufficiency. I think I need to get to that level. As I said, I've got some really dear friends who I do probably reach out to in a really extreme pinch, but there's a lot of day-to-day stuff where perhaps I could lean a bit harder, but I choose not to.
Yeah.
The thing is also that, they have two male fathers. There's all sorts of stuff coming up, periods and puberty, which is, new to me.
Yeah, bring the brain trust in. You're going to need them. You're going to need them.
So I've got lots of good girlfriends, mums in the neighborhood, and they walk me through all of that. But again, bra shopping, Yvette, that was a new one for me.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
So that was quite difficult as a gay man.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And then, the hormones now, are just raging. When they, the three of them gang up on me and start slamming the doors, I'm like, can you leave the doors alone? Like, those poor doors.
you gotta accent it with the door. It has to happen.
A lot of door slamming, Yvette. A lot of door slamming.
Yeah, this is the sad thing about not having, landlines anymore, because also slamming that phone down when you're upset is part of it too. I love that you took the leap. I love that you chose where you wanted to live and you moved there. And I love that you're bobbing and weaving with grace as life has changed. And I think as wonderful as the surprise of these three babies, I think there are more wonderful surprises coming your way that will delight you in the same way these three little ones have.
I just sort of support and nurture them.
Yeah.
If they feel supported and loved, and me and their other dad are behind them, and that's enough for me. That's success.
There's so much to celebrate in Matt's life. He and his ex-husband are raising three healthy kids who are finding their own way in the world, who feel safe enough to express their identities freely, who are kind, funny little humans with big hearts. One look at them and all the pivoting and juggling in the world feels completely worth it. But that's not to say that the past few years haven't been difficult on Matt. Yes, he's found his footing and is able to cover the cost of childcare, but spending enough time with his kids, finding job security, and continuing to build community has been a tricky balance to strike. I'm not sure that anyone could strike that balance, to be honest, especially since childcare costs have spiked 30% across the country since 2019. So the cost of living crisis Matt was talking about doesn't only apply to New York. We're all living it. See you next time on Squeezed. I'm your host, Yvette Nicole Brown.
Do you want to go play some saxophone in the sun? Entertain the masses? Yeah?
Well, I'm not gonna specifically like practice what I do at school because.
Oh, you're going to
I'm just gonna
freestyle? Oh, I love that.
That was random.
I like that. That was cool.
Is that
There's more Squeeze with Limonada Premium. Subscribers get exclusive access to bonus content like previously unheard clips from all our voices in this series. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts. Squeezed is a Limonada Media original. I'm your host, Yvette Nicole Brown. Crystal Genesis is our senior producer. Julia Yort, Tess Novotny, and Hannah Boomershine are our producers. Field production by Crystal Genesis, Julia Yort, and Ivan Kurayev. Our theme music is by Andy Kristen's daughter with additional music by APM Music. Ivan Kurayev is our engineer. Jackie Danziger is our VP of Narrative Content. Executive producers are me, Yvette Nicole Brown, Jessica Cordova Kramer, and Stephanie Whittles-Wax. This show was created in partnership with the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, a leading national philanthropy dedicated to taking bold leaps to transform health in our lifetime and pave the way, together, to a future where health is no longer a privilege but a right. Follow Squeezed wherever you get your podcasts or listen ad-free on Amazon Music with your Prime membership.